Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in. Here we are on Assault on Karelia on the attacking side. I'm in my AMX 50B Tier 10 French heavy tank with the big autoloader on it. And I am headed up to the northeast corner with not a lot of friends. I've got me, the T-34-2, there's a Caernarvon following up, and that's pretty much it. There's a Skoda T-50, which does some pretty darn good work in the middle down there, beating up on this poor Pershing who never gets there. And I start heading up here thinking, all right, I'm going to go up to this corner. Now, here's the reason I'm showing you this battle is this is part of my 100 battle challenge. I just finished up with the AMX. I had a couple 5,000 damage games. I played probably 20. I guess I was around 80 when I started playing it. Got it up to 100. A couple 5,000 damage games, some 4,000. Nothing really impressive past that. This is much less. It's only in the 3,000 area. But I think it illustrates well how this tank really needs to be played. And a lot of people will call it a support tank. Now, I will find this guy up here alone. I get a shot. One thing about these big auto, there's a bounce. That's fantastic. And watch this. And another bounce. So, one thing about these big autoloaders, especially if you're top tier like in the 357, if you can get somewhere fast and find the first tank or two, you might be able to do some pretty good work. And I actually get splashed or hit or something by this Type 5 all the way from back there. Can you believe that? Hits me. I think it was a splash actually based on all the stuff kicking up around me. So I only get one shot into the 430, and now I'm just really going to have to be careful. Like reload, but he's going to get covered up by that rock and just can't quite get there. That Skoda's doing some nice job, doing some nice spotting job down there. Doing a nice job of spotting. So I'm going to spin around here. I considered leaving, but we had the T-34-2. The Caernarvon was being smart. He is not being focused. I think the artillery, for the most part, is actually looking the other way. And our artillery is kind of working on this corner, which I think is a great idea on their part because the southwest hill is taken. This is the problem over here. We don't want to lose this hill, so I don't run away. I go ahead and flex back here. And I was talking earlier about how this is more of a support tank, and I'm going to be a influence by presence and start picking at these guys instead of running down there. If I drove to that corner, then the 430 would pop out, the Type 5 would pop out, and I would clip out and maybe get a guy or two, and then I'd be dead. They'd come out while I was reloading. I would have no way to get away. So I'm going to go here where I can actually cover up and hide, and I've got some bushes to be really annoying and poke around this corner here. The 34-2 is doing a really nice job keeping them lit. And there's the Type 5. I knew he was on the way up here, so that's one of the reasons I didn't want to go hang out down in that corner. And the Caernarvon gets hit. The good thing about what the Caernarvon does here, the Caernarvon, is, and by the way, those RNG rolls that I get them back here. I sniped this turret at least twice, maybe 3 times. But the Caernarvon doesn't run off. So we're just going to anchor here and harry these guys. It's just me, a Tier 8, and another Tier 8, and that's it. And finally, the 100.01 is coming up here as well. Siri actually just activated on my phone. That's kind of scary. And we're just going to try to hold this 430 and Type 5. We have 2 of their Tier 10s over here. And frankly, if they had just pushed up and around this corner, they'd probably eat us alive. But people are worried about big autoloaders. They don't really like pushing into them. And they're also worried about things like Type 5. So it is a bit of a standoff here. And there's the Caernarvon. He does a really nice job of not running off. He hangs out there using that turret. And the Arty just keeps on blapping shots into that little hold down spot right there. The 34-2 is keeping them busy. It's interesting that the 34-2 hasn't been shot, but if you'll notice what's going on in the rest of the map, we've won on the other side. So that really takes pressure off of our hill. We can kind of hold here while they fold around behind those guys and just pick at these guys right here. And these guys are now forced to kind of do something. They've got to get rid of us so they can get back to the cap or die in place. And it looks like they're choosing more or less dying in place. I get another shot in there. Again, I'm not up there kicking rear. I'm at 2,000 hit points of damage. That one goes into the... I think his turret was turned sideways, or maybe that was the back of his turret. Maybe he had turned around. That's possible. And unfortunately, I'm on a reload right when it's about time to run down there and start dropping the clip on everybody. So I've got to be careful. I'm waiting for the reload to get close so that I can start moving and come around that corner when I'm about ready to start firing, which is going to happen right about here. So between the 2 tier 8s and me, and then eventually the 100.01, we were able to hold this corner from 2 10s and various other tanks that are now dead over here. Really kind of a sideshow, to be quite honest. The other side basically won this game. What we did is kept the tier 10s up here from being able to flex back. I really think had they pushed up against us, it would have been over much quicker. I'm going to try to come around here, but I think that guy died. Yeah, he gets hammered. And that T-50 just went off down there. Captain Curiosity, he really did a huge part. Did a huge part of the win. He basically was a huge part of the win right here. Working that middle, taking shots into the back of people, getting the spots for artillery and all kinds of stuff. And I dropped one more cheesy shot in there too. Just barely managed to get myself up above 3,220. But I wanted to show everybody this with this tank because this is one of the better ways to play the tank. It doesn't really bully unless it's late to mid-game where you've got a clip and a lot of hit points and you can just run out and bat people in the face. But if you can keep yourself from getting pushed while you're reloading, manage the reloads correctly, you've got some people up front to kind of keep them from pushing you and swarming you, it can be quite effective tank. And able to keep 2 tier 10s really down there from wanting to push up. And actually I'm wrong, aren't I? Because it was only a tier 10 and a tier 9. The 430 is a tier 9 right there. Alright guys, looks like their other tier 10 camped or fell back, so that didn't help the enemy team there. Thanks for tuning in, I do appreciate it, and we will see you.